All right, today we're going to learn how to find the area of shapes on a grid. And it's not that much different than what we've been doing. It's just that the units aren't given to us, like they don't tell us what the base or the height is. We just have to like count for that instead. Okay, and when we count for that, each square equals 1 unit. So what that means is like if we've got a grid, okay, each of these would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So like if we were doing this rectangle, the base would be 4 and the height would be 2. Each square is worth 1 unit. We'd find that area by multiplying that 4 times 2, and our answer would be 8 units, and we can abbreviate that to UN squared. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing today. So like I said, to find the area of shape on a grid, you account for the base and the height. Then we're going to just solve it as normal. So once we find that base and height, we're going to write that formula, b times h, or b times h divided by 2, or times 1/2 if it's a triangle. Substitute in the numbers, so substitute in the number for the base, the number for the height. Then solve and write the answer with our label. Our label on a grid will always be units squared, and you can always, like I said, abbreviate that to UN squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just do some examples. If you're feeling like you already know how to do this, you can pause the video and try some of these on your own. That's totally fine. All right, so our triangle here, I like to do the height first, remember? So height is straight up in a right triangle. It's going to be one of the side lengths. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our height is going to be 6. I like to draw the little swoopies because if we just count boxes, it gets really confusing at that last box because people think that we don't count that whole entire last box since it only goes halfway through. But if we're just counting, we're not counting for the area right now, we're just counting for the base and the height. And that height goes through all 6 of those boxes. Do you see that? Okay, so we do count all 6 boxes. Same thing for the base. The base is going to be down here. We'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, some students will get confused because they say, well, it doesn't go all the way through that whole entire 5th square. We're not counting for the area right now. We are just counting for the line that makes the base. And that line that makes the base does go through those entire 5 boxes. Okay, so then we'd start by writing our formula. So base times height. And then I've noticed in class a lot of us like to divide by 2, 1 better, so I'm going to put that one up here. So we've got our base is 5, our height is 6, and then we have to divide it by 2 because it is a triangle. 5 times 6 is 30 divided by 2. 30 divided by 2 would be 15. Our label would be units squared. Okay, other ways we could have done that, we could have grouped together our 6 divided by 2 to get a 3. 3 times 5, 15. Okay. Same thing for the parallelogram, but counting for the parallelogram is a little bit trickier. Again, don't think about counting for the area. The boxes don't need to be like full of the shape. We're just counting for the length of the base and the length of the height. Okay, so if we're counting from the height of this parallelogram, we're just going straight up. 1, 2, 3. And that height of that parallelogram is 3 whole boxes. Okay, so our height is going to be 3. Our base, now I'm going to erase this. You don't have to erase this on your paper. So our height is 3. I'm just going to make it a dotted line like they do on the other shapes. Our base is this line right here. So we're counting for how many boxes or squares does that line take up. Not the shape, because this one isn't full, you're right. But we're only counting for how long that line is, which would be 4. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. So now we have a parallelogram, so it would just be base times height. Base is 4. Oops. Height is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Then units squared. Okay, that's all we're doing today. The hardest part is just counting for that base and that height. I've told you guys that so many times before. That base and height is where it's going to get you. If you're starting to feel confident, there are 4 problems left. Go ahead and try some of those on your own. You can always do one at a time and then resume the video to check. Or if you want to follow along with me for 2 more and then do the last 2 on your own, that's fine as well. All right, so I'd count for my height. My height of this parallelogram is going up 2 full boxes. It's 2 boxes tall, so I'd have my base times my height. My height is 2. My base is this line right here. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then I would multiply 3 times 2, 6 units squared. Great. Triangle. My height, again, goes from my base, which is going to be this line right here, straight up to the point that's across from the base. So I'm going to count that line. 1, 2, 3. So my height is going to be 3. My base, I'm going to do in purple down here, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, my formula for a triangle, again, it could be 1/2 times base times height, or I've noticed in class a lot of you like this one the best, so we're just going to keep going with this one. Base times height divided by 2. Base is 4, height is 3, then divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2, 6, and then units squared. If you have not already at this time, please pause the video and try these ones on your own. Don't let this triangle right here trick you. It is just flipped upside down. So you're basically just flipping this, what we just did, upside down. Okay, so our base is actually going to be up here at the top. So keep that in mind. All right, pause and try this one on your own. If you're watching right now, you should have resumed the video just to check your answers because you should have already found the answer to this. Let's count for our base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got base times height divided by 2. 7 times, then we've got to make our height going down. Again, that's going to be a straight line going down to where that point is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 times 7 divided by 2. That's going to give us a 49 divided by 2. Okay, let's take 49 over here. Let's put it in a division box. 2 can go into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract 0. Bring down the 9. 2 can go into 9 4 times because 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract 1 left. We still have a remainder, so we add a decimal and a 0. We carry that decimal straight up into our answer, and then we bring down that 0. 2 can go into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. We are done. So our answer would be 24 and 5/10 or 24.5 units squared. All right, same thing for this parallelogram. We should have already paused the video and done this, so we are just using the video to check. My base, 1, 2, 3, 4. My height, it's gonna go all the way up to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was my height. Then we do 4 times 12. Again, if that's not common facts, or if we're not using a multiplication chart, you can stack them. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1, 4. 48 units squared. Remember, with parallelograms, we do not divide by 2. Only for triangles. All right, and that's it for today.